welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about cacao. Actually, we're going to talk about grafted cacaos. These are nice cacao plants that are in little deep containers. This one was grafted on May 23rd. Today is August 1st. I also have these, which are a little older, and this is my number 3 cacao, and this one is my number 1 cacao. And then I'm going to show you what number 3 looks like in the ground, and then I'm going to show you how I grafted my number 3 onto another tree that's not very productive. I'll tell you more when we come back. All right, so this cacao tree that you're looking at right here, I'll show you, I'll just bring it up. You see it has a lot of little flowers, and it's got a bunch of little pods along the trunk. You'll see them. And it's okay, but it's just never really produced anything, like I said earlier. You can see it's a nice tree, a good sized tree. And in the back there's another one. I'll walk over there in a minute and show you. And that tree is very productive. But you can see this tree has been here, like the other one, 4.5 years. Both of them grown from seeds. But good trees, but very little productivity on the one here in the front, which actually it's called number 2. And number 2 hasn't done well. It really hasn't. So instead of digging it up and throwing it away, so to speak, I decided to graft onto it. And we're gonna move in here. I'll show you what that looks like. Getting a little bit closer. Let's see. You can see that piece right there coming up with 2 branches. That is a graft of number 3. We're gonna get in even closer so you can see the graft. So if you look down here, you can see I cut off what's called a chupon. A chupon is a branch that grows as a sucker. So chupon means sucker in Spanish. So here we cut this off, and I had a little chupon that was growing that matched the size of my scion. This is the scion, right? This scion came from number 3, which is one of my better trees that's behind. That's actually not behind me, it's to my side. I'll show you in a minute. So the graft is taken, it's doing really well here, and I have the new growth coming right here. All this is brand new growth, and we're gonna expect this tree to get bigger and bigger. Then we're gonna chop off our friend here that's sorry to say not a very good productive cacao. So that's the idea of grafting. This is the way to change the variety, but honestly these are not varieties. These are just plants that are still being experimented with, and the reason I did it is because I know that number 3 is a tree that's been very, very productive, very little disease issues, nice sized pods, and more importantly it appears to be self-pollinating as well. And now that I have this one here, I'll have 2 of those, and I also have a number 1 which is in the container, and we're going to go over there after I show you what this other one looks like. All right, so this is number 3, and you can see it's loaded with flowers, tons and tons of flowers everywhere. Very healthy, very vigorous growth. And this is the one that I took a scion from it, okay, and I grafted it onto the tree that's not productive. But you can see this is a beautiful specimen, has beautiful growth on it. It's in a pretty darn good state of growth here, and now going into flowering. So you can see flowers and flowers and flowers all along the main trunk, and also on the rest of the branches as well. One of the things, just a quick point out, is that when you prune these, it's important to make sure that you prune them so that they have a nice form to them, a nice shape that allows sunlight to come in, but make sure that the tree is also protected with some filtered light above. So what I mean by that is that you have some upper canopy trees that provide some filtered light. They seem to do much better in those conditions. Now some people do grow these cacao trees in full sun, but it's really a little bit more stressful. You require more water and you require more fertilizer. So in their natural habitat, and that's what we're trying to simulate here, they work well under a natural, overstory canopy that protects them by filtering light. They do like acidic soil, and they do like to have all the leaf litter left on the bottom. Anyway, I have other videos that talk about how to care for your cacao tree. But today I just wanted to focus a little bit on how productive it is and how I began to graft cacao. So we're going to walk over now and I'm going to show you the one that's in the container. All right, so this is my 25-gallon container grown cacao. This is what I call my number one. As I said earlier, it's about 4.5 years old. It has been very productive. It was grown from a seedling, and I have 2 trees like this, as I've already mentioned, that are very, very productive. And now what I did is I took number one, which is a good one that grows in the container, and I took scions, and that is what is in the 3-gallon pot that's on that I showed you earlier when we were showing you the table with the plants that were there. This number one, it's got plenty of flowers. It's already beginning to set a whole bunch of little pods all over it. And the nice thing about it is that it's real far away from number 3, yet somebody's pollinating it, right? Because I'm not pollinating it, and it's not even possible, I don't think, that anything could be cross-pollinating from probably 150 feet away. So the distance between number 3 and number 1 is 150 feet, and we have a plant that's able to produce pods, and it's only one plant. Self-fertile, that means they can take their own pollen and produce pods. Other cacaos require cross-pollination. They're fertile, but they need pollen from another variety that's close by, another seedling, another tree that's a cacao, and that pollen has to get to the flower. So the distance is important. In Florida, they say that we don't have the little midge that is a very tiny flying insect, very, very small. And that little midge is known to fly around, and they're also called no-see-ums. But anyway, that little midge, either he's here in Florida, because occasionally I do feel like something stings me, you know, the no-see-um is a little bite, but it doesn't happen that often. It's very rare that I get it. So I'm honestly not even sure if I have no-see-ums. So it would seem to be that we would need another pollinator. And I think it would be ants, as you do see little ants running up and down the trees. With that said, if you use a lot of pesticides and you're always worrying about killing ants, you know, some ants are very, very beneficial. So you have to think about what you're doing when you're using pesticides. I'm going to put a lot of energy, I think, into a couple more cacao plants in the ground soon. I'll keep you guys updated on what's happening with the container grown ones. And get yourself a couple of cacao plants if you have the ability to grow them, or if you have a greenhouse or you're in a climate like mine here in South Florida. I would definitely give it a shot. All right, everybody, thanks for tuning in, and please, if you like the video, share it, leave a comment, and also hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to like the video. Thank you.